Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome back. Happy Friday. We got a good one for you guys today for sure. We got this story out of the Daily Beast today. I'll just go ahead and summarize it before I give you my other segments that we're going over. The first story will be basically this guy that worked at the DOJ went on like this date, and the date had a hidden camera. I believe this woman worked with James O'Keefe because I've seen them catching politicians all the time on these hidden camera things. But the main point is she goes on this date. They go on this date, and she's basically asking questions about the Epstein files and the recent release. If you guys haven't seen the release, the newly released documents is like 33,000 pages, and it's been reported that like under like 800 of the pages were actually new. So out of 33,000, only around 1,000 were new, and it's nothing, anything crazy that anybody was looking to even see. But any new information is good. But why did you have to release 32,000 pages of things that we already had, right? Just obviously stalling and whatnot. But this man says on this hidden camera, we or the Republicans will redact the names of other Republicans and just keep the Democrat names on there. I mean, I'll show you guys the video. It's insane, but it's really not anything that we didn't expect, to be honest. Like, if that were to come out and it was like only Democrats on there, and I've been saying on the show that, I think Democrats are on there, obviously, or it wouldn't be, or it probably would have been released during the Biden administration. I keep it straight. That's my thinking. I don't see why else it wouldn't be. But I obviously also think Republicans are on there, and I probably think that there's more Republicans on there. The way that they're handling this, saying that he'd release them on his campaign trail, and now basically saying that it's a hoax. Donald Trump just yesterday was calling it a hoax, while the victims were outside saying it's insulting that he's calling it a hoax. And one lady voted for Donald Trump, and this man's calling it a hoax, and she's a victim of Epstein himself. So we'll see. But and then the second video, I have another video after this. It's going to be basically the guy that I was talking about yesterday when I posted my video about RFK and his Senate hearing that he had, and I said that he was lying about this. I know he is. I know these conservatives, and he's lying about this member being a contractor, and he's not doing medicine, even though the guy that he's talking about was he committed a crime of practicing medicine, or basically practicing medicine when he has no license. So I knew that was shady already, him calling him a contractor. But on his website, he's a doctor or a senior data analyst, whatever he was, right? But here's the story that I want to get into here. It's from the Daily Beast, like I said. This guy, so I think it was from James O'Keefe. They do some crazy cam things, which is wild. But I'll play the video for you guys here so you guys can see it. Here it is. Oh, can it go full screen, please?
But those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
There you go. He said he'll leave all the liberal Democratic people in the files.
In those files, leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
She got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep her on shut.
I mean, even he said that it's against BOP policy, Bureau of Prisons. And this guy works for the DOJ. This is all things that we know, and all things that we know that the DOJ are just trying to dodge or deflect off of. And, conservatives give them the benefit of the doubt and try to make these different excuses for or whatever it is that oh, she can leave here or she can go there. And no, it's not. It's sometimes it's just that simple. You guys don't have to make a conspiracy out of everything, please. She's a sex offender, and she's not supposed to be transported to a what did the warden call it? He called it a, I don't know. It was basically a softball prison. I forget. Or he called it a country club prison. So I mean, this is ridiculous. She's a sex offender with one of the biggest sex traffickers of my lifetime for sure. But probably one of the biggest in the United States history. So I mean, it's just simply ridiculous. I guess I can read some of this here. His name was Joseph Schnitt, an acting deputy chief in the Department of Justice, and basically the DOJ had to do this apology for his. Well, we don't need to really give him an apology. We're glad that happened, but I guess they're saying that they're issuing an apology because I guess he said that we're redacting Republican names, which they are. It is true that they are, because even on this show, I think it was like a month ago, we said, or there was a story that came out that the Republicans were, or the FBI was redacting Donald Trump's name, who was a Republican. So they are doing that for sure. And then I'm going to show you this video as well. This comes only a day after this, when Trump was saying that it was a hoax, and his own constituents or his colleagues are calling it not a hoax. Watch.
I think it's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, nobody's falling for it. Nobody's falling for it anymore. It's just so obvious, and you can't. When it's so obvious, you can't cover it all up. You have your own colleagues, Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was, everybody was viewed her as a big MAGA Trumper. Now that she's going against Donald Trump, he's calling it a hoax. She's saying it's not a hoax, and she will name the names. And if she has to get scrutiny by her own party, she'll do it. And the same as Thomas Massey. And then you have people in the DOJ falling through the cracks. Everybody knows is they're covering it up. I messed that up, but covering it up. And then eventually you're gonna find somebody where they just mess up, or not following your agenda, and they let it slip out. They're redacting the Republican names, and they're trying to keep the Democrat names in. They don't even want to leave. They don't even want to release any of them, but if they did have to allow the Democrats, the Democrat names in there and not the Republican names. So it's just so obvious, man, and it's hard to, like I said, hard to cover it all up when it's just right there in your face. So all right, that's going to be the end of that one, guys. I'm going to have the next segment for you here in whenever it's uploaded, probably like an hour later, but all my socials going to be down below, and we will have a Substack hopefully next week, another Substack. I've been slow on the Substacks, I will say, because I have two channels now, two YouTube channels I'm trying to balance and things of that nature. And if you guys want to help out independent media like myself, that I have my links down below to help out. I appreciate every dollar you guys give me. So, a like and subscribe will do just as good. So I appreciate all of you, and see you in the next one.